Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday, right? I just dropped a bar here in the title that says death can change everybody around you, or death changes everybody around you. That could mean many different things, and I'm going to go over as many of them as I can remember, because I have all these brilliant thoughts in the morning, and when I don't speak on them right away, I forget about them. So trying to get this one out, trying to make it make sense. Death can change the people around you, as in, it can have an impact on the people that are in your life, because now your relationships are different, in the sense that obviously now some people are trying to help you, they're trying to boost you up. They know that a part of you is actually a little bit different, so now we're making adjustments. We're making those adjustments to the kind of new person that you have become after experiencing certain losses. Death can change the people around you, as in, there can actually be an exchange of the people around you, meaning some people that were there before might not be there at all. If I think back, because I'm coming up to close to a year since I lost my dad, and if I think back to the people that were the closest to me 1 year ago today, and I think about how many of them are still there and still close to me now, it's a fraction of that. It's a small percentage. I mean, I do have, some ride or die people who I just know are never going to go anywhere, and they're still there, and they were still there, and they will still be there. I do have some of those. Shout out to them. They already know who they are. They might not even watch this, but I will shout them out whether they see it or not. They know. Then there's people who might not have even been in your life before that suddenly become a part of your life. I experienced that too. I had people that I didn't even know prior to losing my dad. I didn't know them at all. I didn't know who they were. And then for whatever reason, they surrounded my orbit. And either it was just because of the loss, and I connected through some kind of way that I was sharing about it, or it could have been just random. We connected and I ended up speaking about it, and it was somebody who was able to advise me or help me out in some kind of a way, emotionally, or just shared experiences, etc. So that's two things that I mentioned, I think. Yeah. It can change the people around you. It can change the people around you, as in exchange the people around you. That couple of them. Some people can't handle those things. Some people can't handle those things. I used to just think it was cut and dry, that if you go through a tough time and somebody is not there for you, it just means that they don't care about you. Until I had a friend who actually, for a time period last year, I was like, this person is not my friend. And I can say this now. Sometimes I worry about the things that I say on here, but I can say this now because that's not the case right now. This person really taught me something. So it was somebody I was, would ask me all the time. It was a good friend that would always ask me all the time, how's your dad doing? How's he feeling? How are you feeling? How's your family? How's your mom? How's your sister? This was consistent all the way through his illness, because, for those who don't know, his illness was terminal, and he was sick for about 4 years, and he was in hospice care for about 7 months or so. So this is someone who consistently checked up on me, and I would consider a great friend at that time. Then I remember sharing, like, hey, my dad passed. And this person was like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't imagine what you're going through, in a text. And that was fine. And I'm not saying there's even anything wrong with somebody texting you condolences. I've done that for people too. But to be honest, that's for people that I'm not close to. People that I'm not close to, but I'm acquainted with, we're friendly acquaintances, I guess. I would shoot them a text. But if it was somebody that I was very close to, I might shoot them a text at first, but then I'm like, eventually I'm gonna call, because this is not a text message thing. This is something that is important to actually have a phone conversation or meet up, depending on where they are, that type of thing. So I was kind of waiting for that, and then I didn't hear anything. The funeral day comes, I still don't hear anything. I don't hear anything afterwards. Then we get to a point where a month has gone by, 2 months have gone by. I'm angry at this point. I'm like, if the shoe was on the other foot, I know that I would be there for this person. I would be there for any of my friends. Not just to say my condolences once in a text and be done with it. I would be there. I have been there for people, even recently. Not that recently, but I'll say within the last 2 to 3 years. I've been there for many people who are dealing with losses like that. So I remember I couldn't let it go, because I typically am like, you know what? When somebody shows me who they are out. I don't care about them anymore. Not that I don't really care, but I make it a point to just block them out and just get them out of my mind and forget about them. And that's where I had put that person in that category. But then I was like, you know what? I don't feel right about how things left off. And I also feel like before I get to the point of just eliminating this person, I want to tell them that I'm angry and I'm hurt, because I don't usually do that. Unfortunately, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And I know one thing about me is that I have the tendency to just not explain myself. If it's somebody who's very important to me, or if it's something where I feel like I have to explain myself, I will explain myself. But in most cases, I will just ignore that thing and move on. But in me it was just brewing in me, where I was like, I have to tell this person. So I reached out and I said, I feel a way that little, my condolences text message was the only thing that you did after I lost my dad. Because I'm like, I don't consider you a true friend, and I would have done more than what you did if the shoe was on the other foot. I mean, I don't think I said it quite like that, but something to that effect. I just said I'm angry and I'm hurt about it. And this is what the response was that I got, essentially. It was like, I have never really had a friend in that position before, and I didn't know what to say. Like, I wanted to say something that would bring you peace, that would bring you comfort, that would help you, along your journey, whatever. But I didn't know what to say. So I kind of waited, and I was planning to contact you. I was planning to call, and then time was going by, and then more time was going by, and then more time was going by. And then next thing you know, I looked up and some months had gone by, and I felt guilty and I felt ashamed because of the fact that I was not there. And I felt like now that this much time had gone by, I was embarrassed. Like, I didn't even want to reach out. And that was the main thing. Like, I didn't know what to say in that moment. And then as time was elapsing, it kept building. It kept building and building for me where I wanted to say something, but I was realizing more time was going by. Then after I saw you posted up your the funeral pictures and everything, I was like, wow, he's gonna be really upset. So I think that it's best that I just leave him alone at this point. So what I said to that was, surprisingly, because I didn't come into this conversation thinking that I was going to forgive. I just came into the conversation wanting to vent and express my frustrations. So I said, there's nothing specific that I need anybody to do for me, because I understand that everybody is different. There's like prayer warriors, there's people who will bring you food, there's people who will be like, here's some money, there's people who will be emotional support, there's people who can relate, who will tell you about some loss that they experienced that is relatable to yours, and there's people who will just sit with you. There's some kind of meme that I've seen before that is like, not everything is really meant to be fixed. You know, like sometimes just having somebody who's like, I'm here for you and I support you, that's enough. They don't have to do anything. So I said that. I was like, there was nothing you had to say. You didn't have to give me the words that was going to take all my pain away. You didn't have to do anything super special. You just had to be there. But I said, thank you so much for explaining that to me, because that was one of my greatest lessons, because I was walking around angry at everybody. I really was. I was angry at every single person who was like, oh, I'll be there for you in any way that you need, and then they just were not there. I was angry. But that taught me that there's another perspective. Not everybody, I will say that what was said to me in that one instance is not what applies to everybody. Some people are just bad friends who disappeared. But it gave me a perspective that don't necessarily assume that if you haven't heard from them, it means that they don't care. Sometimes it could be that same thing. They feel uncomfortable. They know you're hurting. They want to say something to make you feel better, but loss makes them uncomfortable and they don't know what to say. So I would say, actually, from that point, a friend who I thought would no longer be a friend, the friendship strengthened. There's people who I might never talk to again that I was talking to on a regular basis at that time. There's people who, like I said, I didn't even know a year ago that have now become staples for me. So, yeah, as I said at the beginning of this, it can change the people around you. It changes the people around you. And lastly, it changes you. I'll tell you some of the changes that have happened for me since that time. Obviously, my dad is not the first person I've lost in my life. You know, I lost my grandfather in 2009. I lost one of my best friends in school. There's other people, list of people, but my point is to say that there have been other losses before. I think my age and the length of time that, you know, my dad has been in my life my whole life, and it being my dad, a foundational figure in my life. It's for that reason I consider it the biggest loss of my life. And it was really hard, and it's still really hard, because somebody who was there your whole life is just suddenly not there. One of the two people responsible for you being here is no longer here, and that's hard. So I know that we all know in theory that, you know, life is not forever. We all know that everybody has their time. Everybody is going to go at some point in time. But it really hits you harder that that hourglass is ticking. The sand is falling down in the hourglass. And you only get so much time to do things in life. So one thing that it has taught me is forgiveness. I keep talking about forgiveness in different ways, because honestly, I feel like there's a million different ways to discuss forgiveness, or a million different facets to forgiveness. It's a very complicated thing. But there are things that I let go of now a lot more easily, because I think to myself, how much would this thing matter if this person was not here tomorrow, and I'm so mad at this thing, at this person, that it is unforgivable? How much would it matter to me? Would I forgive myself for not forgiving them? That's one thing. It has made me really not want to be around people who are not genuine, and it has made me only want to do things that I really consider meaningful, because if it's not meaningful, what am I doing it for? I don't like to do things to do things, and I don't like to be around people just to fill time. And maybe that has made me seem different or standoffish. I don't know what it looks like to other people. I don't really care. To the people who are in my life, I don't think that it has appeared as a big change, because to those who I really, really, really care about, and you know, we're tight and everything, that has not changed. And as a matter of fact, I'm probably even tighter than I was before with some of those people. But now I just have much less of a tolerance for anything that is less than that strength of relationship. Before, it was just like, yeah, I interact with all different types of people, whether they're very close to me or not. I mean, that's just the nature of the world. You know, I have no choice sometimes. You know, the gym that I go to, or the place where I do my grocery shopping, you know, you're going to see people around that I'm one of those people that is like, oh man, I don't really want to interact today. Let me try to go down the other aisle and hope that they don't see me. And then when they see me, I'm like, oh, now I got to commit to this conversation. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Long time no see. How's the family? I hate small talk. I do it when I have to, because I'm not that rude. But oh man, if we could eliminate small talk from the planet, that would be great. Please and thank you. But anyways, that's the end of my my TED Talk. I just want to remind everybody, or tell you for the first time if you haven't seen it, because not everybody sees community posts. But I'm going to be doing a 10-week workshop on grief. And that workshop is going to be from the perspective of lived experience, because I know there's many grief groups and everything, and I've been a part of some of them before. I've even led one before, actually. New York. Anyways, I've even led one before, but a lot of them come from more of a scientific or book background. We've heard of the 5 stages or the 7 stages of grief, depending on which one that you follow. But I think the way that I connect with people is just sharing things that have happened for me, my personal experiences. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to have some PowerPoints. I'm hopefully going to have some guests. And that's that. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thanks once again.